At the same time as Tesla is gearing up to start its highly questionable robotaxi service, we see the, quote, full self-driving, unquote, technology fail spectacularly, swerving one of its cars off the road so fast the driver was unable to do anything about it, and flipping the car on its roof. It's a miracle the driver escaped with minor injuries, yet this technology is about to be let loose on public roads without any drivers in place. I've covered the inherent problems with autonomous vehicles in previous videos. Basically, they are good at certain tasks, such as keeping the car in lane better than a human driver, but they also have a tendency to make catastrophic errors, like failing to stop for an object directly ahead, or, like this incident, veering off the road for no reason. Errors that human drivers would almost never make, which actually makes them far more dangerous in some ways than regular cars, because drivers are lulled into this false sense of security. Put simply, the world just doesn't need driverless cars right now. It's a flawed technology looking for a problem to solve. Welcome back to MGUY, British engineer and lawyer, now Sydney-based YouTuber. Please make sure you've clicked that subscribe button down below and enabled all notifications so you don't miss out on any future videos. And if you'd like to support this channel, why not buy me a coffee? Click the link in the description or scan the QR code on screen. Funnily enough, it turns out that the robotaxis will need to be remotely controlled by humans, or teleoperators as they're called. Yes, I'm not kidding. And we'll take a look at that story shortly because it's quite frankly terrifying. But equally terrifying was the experience of this Tesla owner who got a slightly more exciting ride than he'd planned for, and from which he was lucky to walk away. Tesla full self-driving veers off-road, flips car in scary crash driver couldn't prevent. A Tesla vehicle on the latest full self-driving FSD supervised update suddenly veered off-road and flipped the car upside down, creating a scary crash that the driver said he couldn't prevent. We have seen many crashes involving Tesla's supervised FSD over the years, but the vast majority of them have a major contributing factor in common. The driver is not paying attention or is not ready to take control. A common crash scenario with Tesla FSD is that the vehicle doesn't see an obstacle on the road, like a vehicle, and crashes into it, even though the driver would have had time to react if they were paying enough attention. Despite its name, full self-driving FSD is still considered a level 2 driver assist system and is not fully self-driving. It requires drivers to stay attentive at all times and for them to be ready to take control. Hence, while Tesla has more recently added supervised to the name. According to Tesla, the driver is always responsible in a crash, even if FSD is activated. The automaker has implemented driver monitoring systems to ensure drivers' attention, but it is gradually relaxing those. Just today, Tesla released a post on X in which it said drivers just have to lean back and watch the road when using FSD. This is the kind of irresponsible claim that lulls drivers into this false sense of security. And this guy didn't have a chance to react, it all happened so quickly. Sitting back and watching the road was exactly what Wally, a Tesla driver in Alabama, was doing when his car suddenly veered off the road in Tony, Alabama earlier this year. Wally leased a brand new 2025 Tesla Model 3 with FSD and understood that he needed to pay attention. When talking with Electric yesterday, he said that he would regularly use the feature. I used FSD every chance I could get. I actually watched YouTube videos to tailor my FSD settings and experience. I was happy it could drive me to Waffle House and I could just sit back and relax while it would drive me on my morning commute to work. 2 months ago, he was driving to work on Tesla full self-driving when his car suddenly swerved off the road. He shared the Tesla camera video of the crash. Oh my God, that is terrible. Wally told Electric that he didn't have time to react even though he was paying attention. I was driving to work, had full self-driving on. The oncoming car passed and the wheels started turning rapidly, driving into the ditch and sideswiping the tree, and the car flipped over. I did not have any time to react. The car ended up flipping upside down from the crash. Well, he was lucky. Others have been less so. And even the EV mad website Electric has to admit there is an issue here. The idea is that if you pay attention, you can correct those mistakes, which is true most of the time, but not always. In this case, the driver had less than a second to react, and even if he had reacted, it might have made things worse, like correcting, but not enough to get back on the road and hit the tree head-on instead. In cases like this one, it's hard to put the blame on the driver. He was doing exactly what Tesla says you should do: lean back and watch the road. Either way, I think Tesla has a problem with complacency with FSD, where its drivers are starting to pay less attention on FSD, leading to some crashes. But there are also these even scarier crashes that appear to be 100% caused by FSD, with very little to no opportunity for the drivers to prevent them. That's even scarier. Well, if you need any reason to avoid autonomous taxis, this would be it. It doesn't matter how good the systems are, they seem capable of making catastrophic errors that no human driver would ever make, completely at random. But apparently this is fine to be let loose on public roads without even a driver in the car at all. Tesla has been testing robotaxi service without drivers for several days, says Elon Musk. Tesla has started testing its robotaxi service in Austin, Texas, without safety drivers over the last few days, according to Elon Musk. The automaker reportedly aims to launch its robotaxi service on June the 12th. Earlier this month, it was reported that Tesla had yet to start testing its planned robotaxi service in Austin without safety drivers. It was worrying a month away from the start of the service, and in comparison to Waymo, which tested its system with safety drivers for 6 months and without safety drivers for another 6 months before launching in Austin earlier this year. Now CEO Elon Musk has confirmed that the previous report was true, as he announced that Tesla has been testing the service with no one in driver's seat only for the past several days. He claimed that it is a month ahead of schedule, but he has also said that Tesla would launch the service to paid customers in June. If true, it would imply that Tesla didn't plan to test the service without a safety driver in the vehicle. I don't know about you, but this all seems totally insane. Where are the regulators who should be putting a stop to this kind of beta testing on real people? In any event, it seems that Tesla's plan is to have a bunch of teleoperators who actually sit in a room somewhere and make sure the car's doing what it's supposed to, and if it goes off script, they can remotely control the car to avoid disaster. Here's an idea: why not put those people actually in the car and call them drivers? That would be a novelty. But even Electrek is appalled by the speed at which this plan is being rolled out. Musk claims to be a month ahead of schedule, even though Tesla started testing its service without safety drivers about 2 weeks before the planned start of the service. That's ridiculous. It's not a victory to have no incidents after a few days of testing. You need to have no incidents over months of testing and hundreds of thousands of miles before launching. At this point, I'm praying that Tesla is launching this in a small, geo-fenced area without highways or any high-speed driving to limit potential dangers and to ensure teleoperators can increase safety. But even then, I fear there will be avoidable crashes. Well, I never thought I'd say this, but I totally agree with Electrek. On the one hand, we have examples of the autonomous driving technology putting someone upside down in a ditch, even when the driver was present, and on the other, we have completely driverless vehicles being put on the road as a taxi service without proper testing. Is it just me, or have we lost our collective minds? Let me know in the comments. The reality is that driverless technology is deeply flawed. It might be able to do certain things well, but as the Association for Computing Machinery put it in its critique of autonomous vehicles, it makes different kinds of mistakes, frequently catastrophic ones that no capable human would ever make. As I said before, the world just doesn't need driverless cars. There's enough to worry about as it is. Thanks very much for watching. Really hope you enjoyed it. If you've got any tips or stories, go there. If you'd like to watch another video, go there. If you'd like to buy me a coffee, go there. And please subscribe to the channel.